day of October 1950, Ebbets Field, Brooklyn. The Dodgers are one game behind the Phillies in the National League pennant race. In the ninth inning, with the game tied at 1-1, Hal Abrams is out at home trying to score the winning run for the Dodgers. In the Phillies' 10th, with 2 runners on base, Dick Sisler slams a high drive into the left field stands for a home run. The Dodgers fail to score in their half of the 10th, and Sisler's 3-run homer has given the Phillies their second pennant in 36 years. Now it's October the 4th, and the city of brotherly love is pulsing with unusual activity. All Philadelphia is aroused by World Series fever. A near-capacity crowd gathers in Shibe Park to watch the Philly Whiz Kids take on the Yankee Bombers in baseball's 47th World Series. The Phillies are proud of their hard-won pennant. Not since 1915 have they had an opportunity to participate in this great classic of the diamond. The Yankees are comparatively calm. This is their 17th series appearance. Among many celebrities in the stands are National League President Ford Frick and Mrs. Frick. William Harridge, president of the American League, reminisces with grand old Connie Mack, who has just completed half a century as manager of the Philadelphia Athletics. Also present are the co-owners of the Yankees, Dan Topping and Del Webb. The New York Yankees manager, Casey Stengel, salutes manager Sawyer of the Phillies. Sawyer springs a startling surprise in the baseball world. His opening pitcher will be his ace-in-the-hole relief hurler, big right-hander Jim Constanti. 33-year-old Constanti, who set a new Major League record of 74 appearances during the season without opening in any, finally gets his chance to start one. Opposing him will be Yankee Vic Raschi, who won 21 and lost 8 during the season. A hush settles over the park. All the men of baseball and the throng of spectators stand motionless in a silent prayer for peace. With solemn ceremony, the stars and stripes are raised above Shibe Park. The American and National League pennants are forgotten momentarily as this one great flag flies for all. Then baseball's top man, Commissioner Albert B. Chandler, throws out the first ball, and the series is officially underway. Leading off for the Yanks, Gene Woodling walks. Then Phil Rizzuto connects with a single to left for the first hit of the series. Woodling holds up at second. Yogi Berra slams a long fly that backs Del Ennis up to the right field wall. Woodling advances to third after the catch, but that's as far as he gets. Constanti bears down, and the next 2 batters are retired in order. Eddie Waitkus leads off in the Phillies' first and fouls a 3-2 pitch to left. Woodling goes after it, crashes into the lower left field boxes, and gets badly shaken up. But he remains in the ball game. Leading off in the Yankee 4th, Bobby Brown smashes a double down the left field line for the first extra base hit of the series. Then Hank Bauer slams a 400-foot drive to deep left center, where Asprin makes a brilliant running catch as Brown takes third. Jerry Coleman rams a long fly that backs Dick Sisler to the left field wall. Brown scores easily after the catch with the first run of the ball game. After 1 out in the Phillies' 5th, Willie Jones lashes a single for Philadelphia's first hit in the game. With 2 away, catcher Andy Semenick grounds a base hit to left field, and Jones moves on to second. Goliath goes down swinging to end the inning and the Phillies' scoring threat. There is 1 out in the top half of the 7th when Vic Raschi wraps a grounder to third. Jones' low throw is the first error of the game, and Raschi is safe. The next batter, Gene Woodling, punches a base hit into center field that moves Raschi to second. Then Phil Rizzuto pops to Jones. Berra bangs a grounder to Waitkus, who makes the putout unassisted to retire the side and leave 2 runners on base. And again, Constanti has hurled himself out of trouble. After 2 away in the Phil's 7th, shortstop Granny Hamner slams a 2-2 pitch for a line drive deep into right center. Hank Bauer crashes against the wall, but holds onto the ball to rob Hamner of a hit and end the inning. In the last half of the 8th, Johnny Hopp replaces Myers at first, and Bill Johnson replaces Brown at third as manager Casey Stengel tightens the Yank defense to protect their 1-0 lead in this pitcher's duel. After 2 outs, manager Sawyer sends Dick Whitman to bat for Constanti in an attempt to tie up the ball game. Here's the pitch, and Whitman smashes out a long drive to the right field wall. Bauer races under it to make the catch that ends the 8th. Going into the last half of the 9th, the Yanks still hold that slim 1-0 lead. It's been a brilliant pitching duel all the way, and Yankee hurler Vic Raschi has a 2-hit shutout so far. Leading off for the Phils, Waitkus is thrown out by Rizzuto. Richie Ashburn wraps a grounder to Hopp, who makes the putout unassisted. That's 2 away, and pitcher Raschi is going strong. Dick Sisler is the third batter. Raschi winds up, and the first pitch is low, ball 1. On the next one, Sisler swings and misses. The third pitch is right in the groove for a called strike, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Raschi winds up again. Here's the pitch, and Sisler goes down swinging. Victorious Vic Raschi retires the Phils in order to complete a sensational pitching chore that blanks the Phils in a 2-hit shutout. It's the 12th 2-hit game in series history and the 3rd in a row on opening day. This is also the 3rd consecutive year that the opener has been a 1-run game. Although the Phillies hurler Jim Constanti was defeated, he too did a masterful job. He allowed only 4 hits and 1 run in 8 innings. Now for game number 2. Another throng crowds into Shibe Park in Philadelphia to see if the Phillies can even up the series today. Among the spectators are managers Frankie Frisch of the Chicago Cubs and Luke Sewell of the Cincinnati Reds. Stengel's pitching choice is Big Allie Reynolds. For the Phils, Eddie Sawyer will send his young right-hander, Robin Roberts, to the mound. Roberts won 20 and lost 11 this year. Woodling, the Yankee leadoff man, rams a high bounder to deep short, where Hamner knocks it down, but his throw to first is a split second too late, and Woodling gets credit for a base hit. After 1 away, Yogi Berra slashes a single to left, and Woodling races to third. Joe DiMaggio is up. Joe pops up a high fly to Goliath. He tosses the ball to Waitkus, who misses a good chance for a pickoff play at third when Woodling falls down. Waitkus' high, wide throw enables Woodling to get in safely under the tag. But there's no score in the inning. In the Phil's first, after 1 out, Ashburn connects with a long line drive to right field. Bauer tries for a shoestring catch, but the ball skids off of his glove and goes for a 2-base hit. The Phillies' first double of the series, but they fail to score in the inning. After 2 away in the New York second, Coleman walks. Then Reynolds lashes a single down the first base line, and Coleman sprints to third. Woodling smacks another high bounder to deep short for a single. It keeps the rally going and scores Coleman with the first run of the game. The Yankees lead 1-0. There's 1 out on the bottom of the second when the Phillies' Hamner smashes a drive deep into right center for the first triple of the series. This also makes Hamner the first Philly runner to reach third in the series, but he's left stranded. Goliad opens the Phillies' fifth with a hard smash. Coleman makes a spectacular stop, but his hurried throw is wild, and Goliad is credited with a base hit. After one out, Waitkus punches a bounder that takes a sudden high hop over Coleman's head for a single, and Goliad dashes to third. Aspin, the next man up, flashes a long line drive to Woodling in left field. After the catch, Goliad scores the first Philly run of the series and ties up the ball game at 1-1. There's no further score in the inning. In the Yankee sixth, Bobby Brown rifles a long, hard drive to left center, but Aspin's dazzling defensive play holds the drive to a single. In the Phil sixth, Del Ennis blasts a tremendous drive to the 400-foot light pole in deep center field, but DiMaggio robs him of a hit with a beautiful glove hand catch. In the Phillies' eighth, repeating the strategy of yesterday's game, Hop goes to first and Johnson to third for the Yanks, as the tie ball game threatens to go into extra innings. Leading off for the Phils, Aspin beats out a bunt down the third baseline. Sisler follows with a sacrifice bunt, but Reynolds whips a great throw to Rizzuto that forces Aspin at second. The next batter, Del Ennis, hits into a double play. Johnson to Coleman to Hop that retires the side. The game remains a 1-1 tie in the last half of the ninth. With one away, Hamner doubles to right center field. That brings Stengel to the mound for a chat with Reynolds. The Phil's winning run is on second with one away. Dick Whitman will bat for catcher Silvestri, who replaced Semenick in the eighth. The Yankee strategy has been decided. Whitman is purposely passed. Now Mike Goliad is up. Here's Reynolds' pitch, and Goliad hits into a double play, Rizzuto to Coleman to Hop, which ends the inning and the Phillies' golden opportunity to tie up the series. In the first half of the 10th, the leadoff man for the Yanks is Joe DiMaggio. Roberts takes the signal and winds up. Here's the pitch, and Joe uncorks a mighty blow that blasts the ball into the second deck of the left field stand. This important round tripper puts the Yanks ahead 2-1. It's the seventh home run for DiMaggio in World Series competition. Roberts retires the next three batters in order to end the inning. This game, like yesterday's, has been a sparkling pitcher's duel all the way. In the last half of the 10th, Jack Mayo bats for Roberts and opens the inning with a walk. Waitkus lays down a sacrifice bunt that moves Mayo into scoring position. Then Reynolds makes Aspin foul out to Johnny Hop. There are two strikes on Dick Sisler when he starts to swing, then tries to hold back, but his bat crosses the plate for the strike that ends the game in a 2-1 triumph for Allie Reynolds and the Yankees. It's the first extra inning series game since 1946 and the 23rd in series history. Now the series moves to Yankee Stadium in New York. Before game time, Yankee coaches Jim Turner and Frankie Crosetti are briefed by manager Casey Stengel. He's going to send southpaw hurler Ed Lopat to the mound for New York. Lopat has 18 wins and 8 losses this year. Manager Eddie Sawyer and all of Philadelphia hope that the good left arm of pitcher Ken Heinzelman will bring home the victory that will get them started on the winning side of the ledger. The game is still a scoreless tie after there are 2 away in the Yankee third. For the second time in the game, Heinzelman walks Rizzuto. And the first pitch to Coleman Rizzuto takes off for second and dives in head first. When Semenek's wild throw goes past second into center field, Rizzuto races to third. Coleman belts a hit into left field that scores Rizzuto. Hamner's relay from Sisler to Goliat nails Coleman at second. That ends the inning with the Yankees leading 1-0. Lopat already has two away in the Philadelphia sixth when Del Ennis slams the first pitch off the right field wall. For a two-base hit that puts him in scoring position. Sisler also connects with the first pitch and hammers a single to left field. That scores Ennis with a tally which ties up the ball game at 1-1. When Hamner misses an attempt to bunt, Berra whips a fine throw to first that picks off Sisler to end the Phillies rally and the inning. In the Phillies' seventh, Hamner opens with a drive over second in the center field for a base hit. The next batter, Andy Semenek, lays down a sacrifice bunt, Lopat to Coleman, that sends Hamner to second, and the Phils threaten to break that tie. Here's the pitch. Goliat rams an all-important single into center field that scores Hamner with a tie-breaking tally. The score is 2-1, and the Phils lead the Yanks for the first time in the series. The next man up, pitcher Ken Heinzelman, bunts. Lopat fumbles momentarily, but his throw easily beats Heinzelman to first for the second out. The sacrifice moves Goliat into scoring position. Then Eddie Waitkus lifts a fly to Bauer, which relieves the pressure and retires the Phils. But they lead 2-1. That score still stands in New York's eighth inning. Mayo is now playing left field for the Phillies. Woodling, batting for pitcher Lopat, pops out to Hamner. After Rizzuto has grounded out to make it two away, Heinzelman walks Jerry Coleman. Then he walks Berra. Coleman goes to second, and the Yankees threaten to tie up the ball game. Manager Sawyer comes out to the mound to talk things over with Heinzelman. The Yankee clipper, Joe DiMaggio, is the next man up. They decide to pitch carefully to Joe, but he takes a walk anyhow to load the bases. And that one brings Sawyer out on the diamond again. The big Philadelphia relief artist, Jim Constanti, will take over on the mound. Ken Heinzelman allowed only 4 hits in 7 2/3 innings. As he goes to the showers, the crowd salutes his fine performance with a warm round of applause. Brown will bat for Bauer. It's 2 away and the bases are loaded. Brown fouls off 3 pitches. Then he raps an easy bouncer to Hamner, who boots it. Everybody safe. And Coleman scores the run that ties up the ball game at 2-2. Constanti bears down, and Mize pops a foul fly to Jones that ends the inning with 3 runners left on base. Constanti has put out the fire, but the Yankees are back in the ball game. In the first half of the ninth, big right-hander Tom Ferrick will pitch for New York to replace Lopat, who went out for a pinch batter in the 8th. Joe Collins replaces Johnny Mize at first base. Hamner, the first man up for the Phils, smashes a long drive deep into center field. In a brilliant defensive play, DiMaggio outruns the ball to prevent an inside-the-park homer or a sure triple. The next batter up, Andy Semenek, tries to bunt. Johnson traps the pop-up, and Hamner is safe at third as Johnson throws out Semenek at first. Goliat is purposely passed. Whitman bats for Constanti and raps a grounder to Collins, who whips a fast throw to Berra that nails Hamner at the plate. Then Ferrick bears down on Waitkus, who lifts a fly to Mapes in right field for the third out. And the score continues to be all tied up at 2-2. In the Yankees' half of the ninth, Russ Meyer is on the mound for the Phils, replacing Constanti, and Jimmy Bloodworth is at second base in place of Goliet. When Mapes goes down swinging to make it 2 away with nobody on, it looks like the ball game is headed into extra innings. The next batter up, Gene Woodling, slaps a bounder to Bloodworth, who has trouble hanging on to it, and Woodling beats it out for a hit. Then Rizzuto drives one in the same direction. It caroms off Bloodworth's glove and bounces back to collide with Woodling as he slides safely into second, and Rizzuto gets a single. Jerry Coleman is up. Here's the pitch, and Coleman hammers a long drive into left center, where the ball falls between Mayo and Ashburn for a single, which breaks up the ball game. Woodling tallies the winning run, score 3-2, and the Yankees take a commanding 3-game lead in the series. More than 68,000 fans fill the triple decks of Yankee Stadium to witness the fourth game. From the minors in mid-season and won 9 straight games, lost only 1. Opposing him will be Philadelphia's tall right-hander Bob Miller, who hurled 11 wins and 6 losses during the year. The Phils' leadoff man, Eddie Waitkus, runs the count to 3-2, then walks. After 1 out, with Waitkus still on first, Jones rifles a hard-hit drive to right field that bounces into the stands for a ground rule double, and Waitkus goes to third. Then Del Ennis knocks a high bounder just inside the third baseline. Brown throws to Berra, and Waitkus is out at the plate. That's 2 away. Jones stays at second, and Ennis is on first. That relieves a bit of the pressure on Ford, and when Sisler watches a called third strike go by to retire the side, Whitey has pitched himself out of danger. To open the Yankee first, Woodling bangs a hopper past the mound. Goliet makes a fine try for it, but bobbles it, and Woodling is safe in the error. Rizzuto follows with a sharp grounder. Jones makes a fine stop and throws him out at first. Woodling goes to second on the play. The third man up, Yogi Berra, smashes a single past Goliet into right field. Ennis' throw to the plate is too late. Woodling slides home with the first run of the ball game. DiMaggio is at bat when Bob Miller hurls a wild pitch and Berra goes all the way to third before Semenick recovers the ball. After 1 out, a runner on third and DiMaggio up. Here's the pitch. DiMaggio swings and smashes the ball against the right field wall for a 2-base hit. Berra scores. The Yanks lead 2-0. And DiMaggio's double brings manager Sawyer out to the mound. Miller is through. The Phillies' ace relief hurler, Jim Constanti, arrives to take over the pitching chore. This makes his 77th appearance of the year. Constanti retires the next 2 men in order to end the inning. Philadelphia continues to trail 2-0 going into the 4th inning. Ennis swings and hops a roller down the third baseline for an infield hit. After 1 out, Hamner drills a hit-and-run single into right field, which sends Ennis to third. Then Semenick rolls an easy grounder to Mize, who tags the bag for the 2nd out, then whips a throw to Berra that doubles Ennis at the plate. Unaware that Mize had made the out at first, Semenick continues to run, and Rizzuto scurries around trying to pick off Semenick for out number 4. Umpire Conlon finally gets everybody straightened out, and the ball game settles back to normal again. The Yanks still lead 2-0 going into their half of the 6th. Berra is the first batter up. He works Constanti to a full count, fouls off several pitches, then finds one he likes, and hammers a smash into the lower right field stands for a home run. This round trip is the second for Berra in World Series competition. The homer extends the Yankee lead to 3 runs. DiMaggio, the next batter up, is hit by a pitch and takes first. Then Johnny Mize rams a sharp grounder through Waitkus, but Goliat backs him up and throws Mize out as DiMaggio moves to second. Now it's Bobby Brown at bat. Here's Constanti's delivery, and Brown lines a mighty blow that rolls more than 400 feet to the right center field wall for a triple. DiMaggio mistakes line coach Crissetti's signal, starts back to second, then reverses himself and comes in to score easily. Brown's triple is the second of the series and the first for the Yanks. Now they lead 4-0. Hank Bauer follows with a long liner to left. Sisler dashes after it and takes it going away with an over-the-shoulder gloved hand stab. Brown scores easily after the catch. The Yanks are on the big side of a predominant 5-0 lead. That score still stands going into the crucial 9th inning of this all-important ball game. Willie Jones opens the 9th with a hard drive to left center. Woodling's fast fielding holds it to a single. The next batter, Del Ennis, is hit on the leg by a pitch ball. Ennis takes first and Jones moves to second. Then Dick Sisler wraps a bouncer to Coleman, who throws to Rizzuto to force Ennis at second. The play sends Jones to third. Ken Johnson comes in to run for Sisler. Hamner becomes Ford's 7th strikeout victim to make it 2 away. Andy Semenick drives a towering fly to left center. Woodling loses it in the sun, finally gets under it, and then drops the ball. Jones crosses the plate, and Johnson scores all the way from first. Hampered by a leg injury, Semenick only gets to first base. Jack Mayo comes in to run for him. The Phillies' last-ditch rally has cut down the Yank lead to 5-2. That calls for a conversation between manager Casey Stengel and his pitcher, Whitey Ford. The next batter up is Mike Goliat. Here's Ford's offering, and Goliat drives the ball past Rizzuto's glove into left field for a single. Mayo goes to second, and this time, Stengel is evidently of a different mind as he goes out to the mound. Big right-hander Allie Reynolds comes across the field from the bullpen. Goliat's hit has finished Ford. There are already 2 outs in the inning, but Reynolds will take over on the mound. As Ford walks to the clubhouse, the great throng rises to applaud and cheer the young pitcher's excellent performance. Philly catcher Stan Lopata will bat for Robin Roberts, who replaced Constanti in the 8th after Constanti was also taken out for a pinch batter. There are 2 runners on base. Lopata watches a called strike go by. Then he swings and misses. Strike 2. Reynolds is putting everything he's got into each pitch. The 3rd pitch is low, ball 1. Then Lopata goes down swinging to end the inning, the game and the series in an undisputable triumph for the New York Yankees. They win the final game 5-2 and blank the Philadelphia Phillies 4 straight in the series to remain the baseball champions of the world. It's the Yankees' 13th championship in 17 series appearances, and it's their 6th clean sweep in 4 straight games. With a combined total score of only 16 runs, this 1950 series also sets a new record for the fewest runs ever scored by both teams in a World Series. It was a pitcher's series all the way. Hurlers Vic Raschi, Allie Reynolds, and the brilliant young rookie Whitey Ford turned in superb performances for the Yankees. The Phillies' big Jim Constanti, who pitched in 3 of the 4 games, and Robin Roberts, their young pitching star, were both outstanding, even in defeat. The baseball book for 1950 is closed. But remember, next year, we'll be back again to bring you another exciting account of the sports world's greatest classic, the World Series.